Welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on child care marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Our host, Brian Duprey, is the world's most sought-after child care coach, having helped tens of thousands of child care owners from around the globe take their business to the next level. Let's welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast, our host, Brian Duprey.
Thank you for tuning into the Child Care Genius Podcast. Brian Duprey here. I am so excited to introduce my co-host today, the one and only Michael Braswell, Vice President of Coaching at Child Care Genius. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing awesome. How are you, sir?
It's another week, another Friday, and it's another tip for Child Care Genius. So we're going to do a little bit of training today. We're going to talk a little bit about reputation management. And reputation is all about what your business, the reputation of your business. Is your reputation important to you?
Oh, very.
And if you have any negative tarnishment, that would bother you, wouldn't it?
It does, and it's hard not to take it personal. You know, these centers are our babies, so it's like somebody called my baby ugly. I don't like it.
It's probably the number one call we get as coaches is somebody getting a 1-star review and thinking the world is ended.
Yes.
It's like, oh my God, everybody's gonna hate me now. That's kind of what I feel when they call me. Like they're panicking over a 1-star review.
Oh, when I took over the center, I thought that the reviews were the most important thing. I mean, I was new to the industry, and I thought, okay, I'm looking at everything from Yelp to Google to, everything across the board at Facebook. And there's certain things that you can do to help improve it, but then some of them, especially if they were old and you took over a troubled center, it's hard. You can't get those things down. And so that's always going to be a part of your history. Sorry.
So, it's something that most people don't, on average, constantly look at reviews. It's just something that's not being done. You're not constantly looking at reviews of everything you buy. But sometimes people do look. So we need to maintain a fairly decent reputation. And we're going to give you some tips and tools today here to try to improve your reputation and keep an eye on it. You definitely need to keep an eye on it because it can get away from you really fast. There's 3 basic review platforms out there you need to worry about. That's Google, Yelp, and Facebook. Now, Facebook reviews are the best because you can turn those off. If you don't have a 4.0 on Facebook, which is the highest, turn it off. If you have anything negative on it, go into the settings and turn that off, and then you don't have to worry about it at all. I don't think anybody looks at Facebook reviews anyway. Have you ever looked at a Facebook review of a company, Michael?
No. I mean, I see how it pops up when you search them on Google where it'll show their Facebook review right there when it says reviews from the web, but that's about the only place I've ever seen it because I've never dug into it on Facebook.
Never dug, into that. Yelp is a different animal. I don't like, in some areas Yelp's more popular than others. In my area, it's not. Nobody uses Yelp in where I live because it's a smaller market. Rural areas tend to be not Yelpers, but big city people are. So you got to keep an eye on it, and we'll give you some tips on how to improve that. But I wouldn't obsess over Yelp. Google, on the other hand, most people search via Google. So this is where they're going to find you, and they're going to see what you have. And how is somebody eligible to be for a Google review, Michael? What do they have to do first?
Well, they first have to make sure that their site is claimed. You have to go into the Google My Business suite and make sure that your business is tied to you, associated with you. And it's pretty much the same thing with Yelp as well. Because a lot of people haven't claimed
business, right? It's called Claim Your Business.
Yeah, they haven't claimed their business. Again, I'm not a big fan of Yelp either, just due to the fact that it's not really huge in my market, but you're right. Google is probably the most important because if they're going to find me, they're going to find me on Google probably first or Facebook. So those are the 2 I really concentrate on.
Okay, so if you're a multi-center owner out there, keep in mind one thing, that you have a Google My Business page for each location. Yes. So make sure you've claimed for each location. You have your hours in there. You have pictures in there. You have a job description of what you do at your school, like sell it in that for each location. And that's going to make you eligible to have Google reviews in each location. So every location stands independently of each other location. You could have a 5 at one, you could have a 4.7 at another. So you want to make sure you have that as well. So we're going to talk about ways we can increase our reviews. First of all, I want to give you a rule of thumb. So the rule of thumb that we like to talk about at Child Care Genius is take your license capacity, divide by 2. That's how many reviews you should have at each of your schools. If your license capacity is 100, you should have 50 reviews. They're not all going to be 5-star because sometimes people are mean and they're going to do that. And sometimes you just see crazy. Have you ever seen a crazy review, Michael?
Oh, no, I actually still have a couple of them on my site that I couldn't even get down. And they're just, and it's from people who just toured and were not even ever customers.
Yeah, that's frustrating. I know.
It is.
And so how do we combat that? Again, it's the number one reason we get coaching calls in there. So how do we combat that 1-star review? And the reason you want to have 50% of your license capacity is the more you have, the less chance a 1-star trips you up. Yes. Because you want to always try to have 4.7 or higher. If you, right now, I would encourage you to go into your phone and type in your favorite restaurant. Go to their Google My Business page. The favorite restaurant you would love to take your spouse to. You think the food is just absolutely amazing there. Go there, and you'll be shocked when you start reading all the 1-star reviews of people that think that is the worst restaurant in the world. And it's your favorite. So then you start to realize, wait a minute, they're not obsessed with 1-star reviews. They just went out and got a bunch of 5-star reviews. And people are not always going to like everything. And not everybody's are happy people. I don't think I've ever given a 1-star review to any company in my life. Just not a complainer.
No, and the funny thing is, though, you know how when you go into Google and you can see who posted the review, and then you click on their name and it shows that they did 9 reviews throughout Google. And if you look at them, they're all negative. So it's it's like their only purpose is to basically only post negative things. And it's like, and I think people are starting to see more through that. That's why I don't concentrate on reviews as much as I used to. Or I don't stress as much, because I know that at the end of the day, there's enough happy parents that we take care of to drown out the noise of maybe a few that weren't totally satisfied. And we try to, we're in customer service. We try to serve everybody as best as possible. But just like with everything, you can't make everybody happy. And if you try, it's exhausting, and especially as a business owner. So there are certain things, like you said, if a 1-star review comes across, you just want to make sure, is it relevant? Is it fraudulent? Those are the type of things to where, is it harassment? Is it a previous employee? Is it a competitor? Those are the first things that you kind of want to do, because you do have some recourse within Google to dispute and get things taken down. I have only been successful 2 or 3 times out of 20 doing that. So it's not a tried and true. You're still up to the whims of whatever Google decides. So, but it is one of those that, please make sure in order to do those disputes, you have to have your page claimed, and you have to be logged in as the same user that claimed your page. If you are not in those parameters, it'll still let you report. It'll still let you do everything else like that, but nothing will happen to that review. There are a ton of really good YouTube videos, actually, that you could just search, Google review disputes. And there is even instructions from Google on those in YouTube videos. So it's a good reference also to go look there if you're looking to dispute things.
Yeah. And so you can dispute, again, sometimes you're successful, sometimes you're not. And sometimes you did what is claimed on the thing. Like, if your teacher did something wrong and somebody wrote a negative review, you don't dispute it because it's the truth.
Yes.
The truth is not disputable. So you have to counteract that with other truths. So we have to do a deflection. So for every negative 1-star review you get, you got to turn around and probably get 20. Depends on how many reviews you have, but you can get up to 25-star reviews to offset that. So what we like to teach people to do is to bank a lot of extra 5-star reviews to get ahead of a potential future 1-star review that might come. I know, Michael, you developed for our Childcare Genius University coaching students, you developed an amazing spreadsheet. How does that work?
Well, basically, I wanted to see as we were meeting with different clients across the country and we're looking at their reputation, because that's something that every owner should do. They should dig in and look at themselves and see how do they appear to the public. Because when you're talking to a center owner and they don't even know where they rank on Google or what their reviews look like, that could be the issue of why the phone's not ringing. So when you look at the number, I also wanted to see with the spreadsheet, how could I move the needle? So if somebody was at a 4.0, I basically created the spreadsheet to where, all right, well, let's just put in their numbers. Once we put in the numbers, it'll tell you, all right, well, in order to get up to a 4.5, they're going to need 40 additional 5-star reviews. So because it's cool how the formula is just the numbers are weighted. So 5 stars versus 1 stars. So when you build it into the spreadsheet, you know exactly how many you can do. And with that, we encourage campaigns. It's like you can't pay or incentivize somebody to leave a review. It's against Google rules. It's not ethical. It's just one of those things. And so what we do at our school is we ask them to, maybe if they compliment one of our teachers, just ask them, hey, could you put that in a review? It's like, and the main thing is it's almost like, like with our tours, we always teach at the end, ask for the business. It's just asking, make sure that you just have that ask. I know that a lot of our staff have they're a little hesitant to ask a parent. So that's also why we make it easy for them to leave reviews. And I don't know if you want to go into that, how we do the QR codes.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do a QR code or a pop card. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we make it really easy. We put a little placard on the front desk. We also, on a lot of our different marketing or even on our sites, set up a QR code to where, even on our digital signage when they come to the lobby, they can take a picture of it and immediately it takes them straight into Google. They don't have to look us up. They don't have to go after the fact later because, if you ask a parent, they're busy, they're just off of work, then they picked up their kid and you're like, hey, can you leave me a review? That parent isn't going to remember by that night and they'll never do it. So it's one of those where it's like, oh, it's really easy. Just pull up your phone, take a picture of that QR. It'll take you exactly to it. They can put in what they want to say, put in the amount of stars and done. And so the easier you make it for the parents, the better because everybody's just pressed for time. So that's why the QR code's a great one. And what did you say the second one? I'm not utilizing that one.
Cards. It's a thing you could buy on Amazon. It has an RFID chip in it. And when you could program it, so when it touches their cell phone, either Android or app, your Google review page instantly comes up on their phone just by touching their phone. It's a real easy way to do it. You can just have the teacher can have it in their pocket, your director can have it in their pocket. So they might not be near that QR code, but they always have it with them. They can have it with them in their wallet or their purse if they're out in the town and just happen to see somebody say, "Oh, I just love your school." "Oh, really? Here. Why don't you leave us a review?" And they tap their phone and a review comes right in. So I think they're like $10 or $15 on Amazon. You could buy them and they're just review pop cards. And we have those and those work really well as well.
Yeah. And above that, we've started doing about quarterly campaigns. And what the campaigns are is it's again, just reminding and asking the parents to leave a review. Just tell us how we're doing. I'm not asking them to leave me a 5-star. I'm asking them, leave me a review. Let us know how we're doing. And some of the campaigns, around Thanksgiving time to where, we'll do a drawing at the end of the month and basically say for everybody that left a review, you get entered into a raffle and we're going to, raffle off a gift card to the local grocery store. I mean, so something like that to where it's not really incentive for them, you're not paying them for a review. You're basically stating, hey, for leaving a review, sometimes, leave a review. And I mean, there's all different campaigns that you can do.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think we covered most of it here. Again, it's something you should go look now while you're thinking of it. This is, our job here is to have you think of stuff, go in there and try to give you different tips and tools. But another thing is know where your competitors are at.
Yes.
If you're at 4.4 and all your competitors around you are 4.6 and 7 that are around your same pricing, you definitely need to up your game and get at or above them. If you're at 4.4 and all your competitors are 3.8, it's not as big of a priority. So this is one area where you're going to want to watch your peers. And by peers, I mean your price range competitors. Whenever they tour you, they're touring them. If it's really high end and you're middle of the road childcare, don't worry about what they're doing. Although I've seen many, many high end people that are at 3.8.
Yes.
So just top franchises doesn't equal 5.0s.
Right. And don't, as an owner, don't stress about it too much. I mean, again, that's if your phone is ringing, you have enrollments, you're full, and, say you have a 3.8, yes, it's something that you can put on a roadmap to work on, but don't think that that's the most critical thing that you have to do because you have a school full of kids. Now, on the flip side, if you're trying to boost enrollment and you're really low, then yes, it is a step that can help boost and add to your enrollment. So just kind of know where you're at and don't stress about the things you don't need to stress about.
Love that. And just remember, he said, well, I live in a small town and my reputation, everybody knows, we'll have a bad reputation. You get way too much credit for yourself. Most people don't think about anything other than themselves.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about your school. They're not trying to spread gossip. They're selfish. Most people are selfish. They think about themselves and that's it. So they're not trying to go out there and hurt you. It's maybe just temporarily with a 1-star review, but they're not going to go tell the world all about you. There is that special kind of crazy, though, that I've seen that they are like that.
We've had a couple lately that were previous employees, but luckily those were the ones that I had instant success of getting taken down.
Yes. And one thing I do want to share is mommy groups.
Yeah.
Dude, this is one area that this is reputation management. And I've seen these mommy groups. I haven't seen any daddy groups out there, but I've seen some mommy groups that once something negative from your school comes in, it spreads like wildfire.
Yes.
And one thing we teach our team to do is not respond to anything. So, we used to be our directors, our teachers would go in and they defend us, which of course they want that. But all that does is add fuel to the fire and keeps conversations going longer and longer and longer. You have to let them die quickly on the vine on their own. Some parents will defend you. That's fine, but you don't want to feed the fire. It's like throwing gas on it. When you tell a parent they're an idiot for writing something about your school, you just poured gas on the situation. And then they're going to go leave 1-star reviews on every one of your pages. And then they're going to be picketing out in front of you. Like, don't throw gas on the fire. Just let the fire go out quietly sometimes.
Yeah. And I could definitely agree with that because, a parent leaves something that is blatantly not true. As an owner, some owners get defensive and it shows in their response. That's why for most of mine, even if it's a negative, if it's a positive, I put a thumbs up. I know a lot of people suggest, putting response from the owner, but again, I don't want to dig in and feed into the whole thing. I don't want to show any emotion out there. So I would rather just, okay, I don't thumbs up that one and I'll thumbs up, the positive ones. And I don't know. I mean, Brian, would you think that's a good practice? That's what I've been doing.
I find that when you reply to a review, even a 1-star review, it brings it right to the top.
Oh, sure.
So if you have a 1-star review that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago that you just missed, you that might have rolled down a little bit. You just brought it right to the top now for other people to see. So you want to be, if you're going to respond quickly because it's already at the top. But you want to be careful about doing that because you don't want to draw attention to negativity. So if you're going to respond, do it very quickly and in a very positive, uplifting manner. Never personal attacks. Never bringing negative to the center. Always positive. Sorry you felt that way. We strive to, and then go about your policies. And a lot of times it's you're kicking a child out for a certain reason, or they just felt like they were wronged financially, and they just want to tell the world. It's a chance for them to tell the world about it, and it's wrong, but it's First Amendment allows them to do that as long as they're not slanderous, and we just have to counteract.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. Right, so we're over time, and this was a great session, Michael. So thank you so much for sharing the reputation management. If you'd like additional resources at childcaregenius.com /resources, we have many. If I can help you out personally, go to childcaregenius.com, go to the coaching tab, say I'd like a free coaching call. And if you're a center owner, I'll spend a little bit of time with you and I'll help you out with your reputation management. And Brian Duprey and Michael Braswell signing off. Hope you have an amazing rest of the day.
Have a good week. Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.